All right, it's not a very simple shiur. We're going to speak about the bracha of Yosef HaTzadik. Why was he zoiche to a bracha? Basically, there are only two of the sons of Yaakov that receive a bracha, Yosef and Yehuda. Yehuda received a beautiful bracha, but this bracha only applies for Le'asid Lavoi, for after Mashiach comes. You know what's going to happen and everything. And I believe I gave a share on this last year. And now, but Yosef, it's a bracha which is applicable immediately. The first question that jumps into mind is, Yaakov Avinu, by giving a preferential treatment to Yosef with the Kseinis Pasim, you already seen what happened. You've seen that there was hatred between the brothers. And that's why the Gemara in Shabbos says that it's also to show preference for a son toward others, because this generates hatred amongst the brothers. Now, Yaakov is not going to be here anymore to temper their fights or whatever. That's the last tzava he has. He's about to leave this world. And he leaves them with a bomb. The Midrash says that when Yehuda saw that Reuven, Shimon, Levi got slapped instead of blessed, he was walking away. And he says, no, I cannot sustain, a shaming like this. I cannot take it. And Yaakov called him back and says, no, don't worry. You will get a bracha. We're not going to go into the details on this. There's enough details on the bracha of Yosef, and I'm only going to give you a third of it, because it takes hours and days to amplify and understand the godless of this bracha. I had to remain extremely focused to come out of this forest. It's a huge forest. This between all the mefarshim, the Zohar, the Ari Hakodosh, the midrashim, the mefarshim, I had to. Everyone has a different mahalach, and you can't take all these mahalchim, because it would take a week of shiur, in order to come through and show what everyone sees into this bracha. So I decided to go exclusively with the Zohar. I'm going to bring a bit Ari Hakodosh, because we can say shiur on Yosef without bringing Ari Hakodosh. But mainly, I'm going to stay with the Zohar, and even with the Zohar, only 1/3 I will explain here tonight. We're going to run out of time very shortly. Let's get into the psukim right away. There's nothing much to say about the psukim tonight, because they're not in an understandable language. Cannot translate them. Ben Piras Yosef, Ben Piras Ale Ayin. Anyone who try to give a translation here, Shat Pashut, there's no Shat Pashut. Banois Sa'ada Ale Shur. The girls walked Ale. He doesn't want to say Al, Ale. We're going to see that word coming back nonstop. Ale Ayin, Ale Shur. Shur could be vision, could be walls. So there is a midrash which explains that we'll see when we're going to go through the shiur, that the girls of Mitzrayim, seeing his beauty, they used to take off their necklaces, earrings, bracelets, rings, the jewelry, and throw it at Yosef. Yosef became very rich out of this. So he just gazed at them, raised his eyes, didn't raise his eyes. quickly again on this by Maroruhu, Varoibu. Okay, the bitter him, who we don't know. Varoibu. I don't know. This digduk here is extremely hard. I mean, Vaistemuhu. If it was written with a tav, I would give you the pshat, but with a tes, Vaistam is like he kept it in when Esav kept the hatred he had for Yaakov after Yitzchak passed away, but Baale Chitzim, archers. Then I'm going to get till there, Bez Hashem. But I'll give at least one answer on this. But there's much more depth to it after that. Vateshev be'eson kashtoi. Whoa. Yaakov reveals what happened to Yosef after the Maaseh with Eshes Potiphar. What the heck? Why do you have to reveal this Maaseh, which is shameful to Yosef? And really, we're not going to get much out of this because you're going to see why is Yaakov informing the brothers of what happened there? Oh, yes, Yaakov saw it because he was in the window. He saw his father in the window. He was about to cave in. And his father talked to him and said to him, it's not important for you to lose the place on the Choshen of the Kohen Gadol. That's only 11, the 11 names of your brothers will be mentioned, but your place, the stone for Yosef, will be missing. At that point, Yosef decided, even in this, as a Rabbi said, it seems to be just a story. The depth that's in here. And so Vateshev, it's almost is sat be'eson quietly, calmly, kashtoi, he remains to his breeze because he was vayafozu zeroi yadav, and the zera came out through his fingers. Midei avir Yaakov, from I'm going to translate it prophet, the God of Yaakov. Why does he call him Avir Yaakov here? Hopefully I'll get there. Misham, from there, I'm not sure what he means from there. Roye, he means probably from overcoming the Nisayan, Roye Even Yisrael. He became the shepherd of the stone of Israel. I guess you understand yourself. We need to get in. Yaakov doesn't speak. When he speaks to Shimon and Levi, he doesn't make any question about the languages. It's very clear. When he speaks about Reuven, very clear. The slap is very clear. Why, when he talks about the bracha, he makes it unclear? This is the last time Yaakov will have a chance to order his children. He has to tell them how to behave. How is it possible that on this last opportunity, he's giving us a language that us, the Bnei Israel today, because the words of Yaakov have to transcend time, and they come from his lifetime all the way to Mashiach. Yaakov won't stop. So how come we given a chariot, I think you call it, but totally understandable. Besides that, just to add on the side, Yosef will be zoiche to even another bracha. And Bez Hashem, I'll be able to reach that point And this is the bracha of receiving Shechem. Birkas avicha, the bracha of your father, Gavru al birkas hoyerai, will surpass the bracha of my fathers. Meaning, whatever Yaakov received from Yitzchak, he received the bracha of Avram and the bracha and the 10 brachas from his father that he took from Esav. And then he says, I'm adding another one from my own. This Shem is positive. And he's going to give him Shem. It says, it's yours by din. What do you mean it's yours by din? Is it a matana or is it a ruling? Because if it's a ruling, I want to understand what triggered such a ruling. If it's a matana, he should say it's a matana. I give it to you. I bought it with my money. During my lifetime, it doesn't go through Yerusha. A father is allowed to give a matana to his son. But again, comes back to the first question we asked. How is Yaakov not worried that this time he won't trigger hatred amongst the brothers? You give a preferential treatment to Yosef. And Chazal asked her to do that. So how come Yaakov, who was Shalem, complete, who was Mekayim every mitzvah, even the mitzvahs of Chazal, is not careful about that? Let's jump into the Zohar directly because it's a forest. We can't even see. It's dark inside. It's so dense. The Zohar juggles with one question. The question as we asked it, but meaning why Yosef was preferred and the only one to receive a bracha, on the other hand, struggles with a different question, the opposite mamish of this, as if it's a punishment. Yosef is the only shevet that will not be taking part in the degalim. When they're going to travel the Bnei Yisrael, you're going to have in the front Degel Yehuda and the 2 tribes with him. On the right, you're going to have Degel Reuven, Machane Reuven. In the back, you're going to have Degel Machane Ephraim, Degel Machane, and on the left, in the north, you're going to have Degel Machane Dan. They were not exactly like a cross, they were in corners. So, and Yosef is missing. Why is he missing? Is that a hint that somehow he was choite? Chas v'shalom? So why didn't he take place and be part of the Degalim? Ephraim, his son, will take his place. Menashe will be part of it. But Yosef is nowhere to be seen. Nowhere to be seen. Yes, you're going to tell me Ephraim and Menashe is Yosef. Yeah, you're right. But it's in different shvatim. The shevet of Yosef is kind of disappearing, disintegrated. Why? The Zohar puts here a very strong foundation. Very, very powerful foundation. Takes it from the Eshes Chayil we say every Friday night. It says, Rabbois Bonois Asu Chayil. Many girls Asu Chayil. We have to see what it means. They've done great things. So because really, the Zohar doesn't say that, but the fact that he brings that pasuk, it's hinted there. The adjective doesn't precede the nouns. He should have said banois, rabbis, asukhay, not rabbis, banois. So the Zohar explains here that the Even, what we call Even, it's the Malchus. The Malchus also has a nickname called Even, the stone. I'll explain everything today to the core. What I'm going to give you today, you will understand to the core. And because there's a huge purpose for us when we do our avodah. You know, okay, I'm going to Hashem. Okay, where are you going? So it says, Zeh Sha'ar Hashem. This is the gate to get to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Okay, you go through the gate. Do I go right? Do I go left? Do I go straight? Do I go? You see a multitude of roads coming out of their circle there. Where do you go? What do you do? And I'm just standing like this. Okay, they're going to answer you like this too. That's what's going on. We have no clear map. We have no understanding that someone in his davening is going to focus on Parnasa. Someone in his davening is going to focus on refuah shlema. Someone in his davening is going to focus more in shalom. Someone in his davening is going to be because he doesn't know his way and he needs to have a bit of light. He's looking for light. Those davenings don't take the same roads. They're not. You should not take a one in road. There's no one in road in the middle. And okay, I'm going to get, it's an about. Well, if you're lucky, you're getting an about answer. And that's not going to fulfill your demand. So you have to know precisely where I'm going, what I'm doing. And then you can be player. What do you think there's 19 brachas in Shemoneh Esrei? For nothing? Okay, just say one bracha. We don't need 19 because they all have address something that the person needs. Put it like this. Something that's trivial to the person on a daily basis. That's why we have 19 brachas with 19 different addresses. And in Shema Koileinu, the person adds on this his private needs. But again, the same way they have each one a different address of these 19 brachas, what he's going to add in Shema Koileinu, he needs to bring it to the right address. I mean, if you buy a package from Amazon and you say, you know what, I live in Miami. Okay, Amazon comes, throw it in Miami. Get your package. But it didn't come to me. Yeah, you didn't give your address neither. That's exactly the way it works. So here, I'm going to put together the concept of Even Yisrael, the stone of Israel. So every time you see these languages in the Torah, it's an address. It comes to tell you what this midah. When you say the Malchus is called this, Zeus, it's called Gan, it's called Even, it's called Bear. What do you mean? It has a lot of names. It's like you, which have maybe 4 or 5 names. No, absolutely not. These are midas that the Malchus can be poel for the person. When you want something, you have to know which midah, where you're going. Can you drive to New York by driving south? No, you cannot. New York is in the north. So you have to have a map and you have to know where you're going. So therefore, it's very important to understand the concept of every kinui. every nickname is a midah. And this midah, the Torah reveals it so the person knows how to address it. That's all. So here Yaakov reveals, so we understand that the way we can remain alive, especially us Jews, and through the ages and go through civilizations, despite all the suffering and all the killing and everything, it's because the Malchus is watching over us. But the Malchus is like the moon, has nothing of its own. Everything that it gets from the sun. The sun being Yosef, the Yesod. Because all what the other midah is like a funnel. At the bottom, all the midas are projecting whatever they have, and they let it go down into the funnel. In the funnel, the one who gets them and amasses them is Yosef, the Yesod, and pass it on to the Malchus, and from the Malchus goes to the Bnei Israel. That's the way it goes. There's no other way. Guys say, I'm going to go up to the Bina. Good morning, my friend, and good night. Go to sleep. There's no such a thing. There's no such a thing. It's like going up into a building where there's no staircase. Or they've been the staircase. And you say, I'm going to go to the 80th floor, just to mention the Bina, 80th floor, but I'm not going to go through the lobby. So you're going to be there. You're going to fly. You have to go through the lobby. Once you're in the lobby, you can go up. If you don't go through the lobby, and you have to go through the stages, 1, 2, 3, until 80. So the Even Yisrael here reveals the characteristics of how the Malchus is receiving its shefa from the Yesod. How it has what to give to the Bnei Israel down there. So everything it is because of Yosef Atzadik. Few weeks ago, we learned that when there's going to be the Chorban Beis Hamikdash, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, in Parshas Toles, we learned that. Vayetze, sorry. HaKadosh Baruch Hu will leave the Malchus, which is Rachel Imeinu. Rachel Imeinu went to Yaakov, which is a Tiferes, and says, Havali Banim. How am I going to live? How am I going to take care of my children during the Galus? Give me boys that can provide for me so I can give to them. And that's Yosef Atzadik. And we'll see today, everything will tie up in a beautiful manner. We will really understand this interaction between the Yesod and the Malchus. The Chida HaKadosh, we can understand these words of the Zohar with the words of the Chida that brings a Maimer Chazal. Let me go into the pasuk directly. I think it's going to be more understandable. It says here, Yaakov, when he saw Yosef, he said, Re'oi panecha lo yipilalti. I didn't expect to see your face again. Vehine, and behold, Hera oisi Eloikim, gam esarecha. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed me even your children, your descendants. There are two things here Yaakov says in the pasuk, the Chida says. Seeing your face bedavka, I did not expect. And I saw also what correlation between your face and your children. That's what the Chida here comes to answer. And he says something beautiful. He brings it from the Gemara that in Soita, that when the Soita is drinking the Mei Hamarim, the bitter waters, automatically her face starts shining. You know, a funny shine. It's not the same shine of the tzaddik, the beautiful, the sun. It's an angry shine. It's almost like a fire type, a dark fire shine. And the person who went with his Eshesish, a person who was Chaz v'Shalom Nichshal with an Eshesish, also his face shines the same shine. Despite that, he doesn't drink the Mei Hamarim, but that's his punishment. You can see on the glow of someone, you know, where he stands. You don't need much. It's very discernible. But Chazal say there's a way to remove it. And the way to remove it is to drink a drink that makes the person akar. How do you say that in English? Can have children.
Sterile.
Huh?
Sterile.
Sterile. Okay. It makes the person sterile. Thank you, Menachem. So now Yaakov says, I come and I see your face shining with a normal shine. I don't know what happened with this Eshes Potiphar. Maybe, but HaKadosh Baruch Hu showed me also that you have children, so it's impossible that you were Nichshel. That I know you are a tzaddik. I think it's a beautiful word from the Chida here. It's amazing how he plays in the words, because when you start asking about this pastor grill, Panechalav Pilalti, yeah, you can take it from a high level. You don't pay attention to the words, you know, but the correlation between your face and your children, you could have said something else. I didn't expect to see you, and I see also your children. By Panecha, the Chida is, now we know, now we're going to start going down a bit deeper and a bit deeper, but calmly though, not at once today. We have this Shechem. The Gemara says Shechem is always mukhan leporanos, for bad things, only bad things. You will understand, I will crystallize here the whole life and the purpose. You will understand in few little sentences. Yes, why? Because as Menachem told me, Shechem Gematria 360 like Tsar. That's correct. All the Tsar that happened to the Bnei Israel, I mean, all, no, but Dina, Yosef, Malchus Yisrael, Yeravam, all happened in Shechem, and so forth. There was much more in Shechem. The only one who has the possibility to change the letters, order, from Tsar to Atzar is Yosef. In other words, listen, just to understand that there's something cooking in this Shechem, you just have to see the first pasuk where it's mentioned. Vayavor Abram ba'aretz ad mekoim Shechem. Why can he say ad Shechem? What's mekoim Shechem? The place Shechem. Tell me Shechem, I know it's Shechem. You don't have to tell me the word place. No, you don't understand. Mekoim. Mekoim is the name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is in Shechem. Yud time Yud, Hey time Hey, Vav time Vav. A times A equal 186 equal Malcolm. Shechem. The whole world turns it around 1 point. At the end of the day, if you bring down all the philosophies and what everybody, you bring down all the mask, everything is about Shechem, the Yesod. People find excuses to allow themselves these, and people find excuses in a different angle, depending which country you're in, how you want to rationalize it. But one thing is for sure, the stick is here. The Mokim, the Shem Hashem is here. Someone who's Mechalo, the stick is right away. Darkness. How do we know that only Yosef has the power to stop it? Because Ben Peras Yosef, amazing. Again, these numbers come back. Ben Peras Yosef equals 888. 8 times Aleph, Bina, whatever. You Kate's Sam Lachoishev. The same pasuk that the Zohar, that the Midrash, that the Gemara brings about Vayhi Miketz Shenosayim Yamim. What is Miketz? Yosef put a stop to the darkness. When Mashiach ben Yosef will reveal himself, he will put a stop. He's the only one. When Yaakov says Ben Peras Yosef, he tells the Shvatim, you will go through Galuyos. You will go through suffering. The only one amongst you that can stop all this, it's him. Because he is the only person in the world that accepted upon himself without telling his brothers that he would go into a nisayon that is much more difficult than the Akedah Sitzchak itself, as the Midrash says. It was much more difficult than all the nisyones that Yaakov went through. Amazing statement. The nisayon of Yosef alone. He shared it with no one. He took the beatings, he took the hatred, he took the suffering, he took the abuse, he took the darkness, but he vanquished all of them. And he became the king. Hu HaMashbir. He's the one who provides now. He is the only one who raised himself all the way to Atzilus. All the Shvatim are in Beria. He is in Atzilus. And he is able to provide light for you during the times of Galus. You have to trigger Yosef. That's the message that Yaakov is giving in his bracha. He's not just telling Yosef, you're an amazing person. No, he is talking to the brothers and says, let me reveal you before I go. Who is your brother? Because you know the greatness of him, not having kina about you, not, and still providing. Yeah, you know that greatness. But let me give you a message for the ages until Yosef HaTzadik will reappear to free us from Edom, from the Shibud Malchuyas. Kates Sam Lachoshech. Yosef HaTzadik, Na Yudke Vavke, HaKadosh Baruch Hu left the Beis HaMikdash HaElyon. He's not going back to the Beis HaMikdash HaElyon until the Malchus is going back into the Beis HaMikdash HaTachton. So now the sun and the moon are separated. Who's going to illuminate the moon? Yosef HaTzadik through ages. Yosef HaTzadik will send to his mother, Rachel Imenu, which is the Malchus, all the protection he can get from all the other midas. Now, why did Yosef, you're going to tell me, wow, Yosef was zoiche to this only because he was oimed, according to the Midrash, Midrash Tanchuma by Yosef, she followed him, this Ashes Potiphar followed him in jail, asking him daily. No one there could understand. They all understood that something is cooking there. He would not budge. She made a collar of steel so he cannot bend his head, and because he used to when he used to speak to him, he used to have his head down, not to look at her. And she made a collar and she put it around his neck, so he look how much he had to suffer, carry a collar like this, and cannot bend his head, but he would shut his eyes. She said to him, I'm gonna blind you, I'm gonna remove. So I said, do it. Mamash, the story of Masya ben Charash. You probably don't know it. There's one part that was brought into I don't know why I get carried away on this, but I love Masya ben Charash. It reminds me a lot of Yosef Atzadik. Anyone who has a problem with the eyes, it's a non-sgula. It's not a sgula. I don't call it sgula because it happens. You go to Masya ben Charash and you dive in there on the tzion, and person gets refuah. The Yalkut Shimoni brings us one part of the story, but there is a Xaviad in Munich, in the library of Munich, with the full story of Masya ben Charash. Full story. Remind me, maybe on Shabbos I'll tell you the story. It's what an amazing story. What an amazing. I'll tell you both. The one in Yalkut Shimoni and the one in the library. Anyway, I'm sorry for the others. Otherwise, we want to have time. You know what? Let me tell you briefly. Too bad for this year. I think we can learn a lot from the Masya ben Charash. It was in Rome, and everyone, even the goyim, we bashmutzing the galach over there, because he was shatuf zima. He was always after children. Everybody knew about it. Everybody knew. And everybody was talking, derogatively about him. And praising Masya ben Charash, who was known that he would never raise his eyes to look at a woman. And if a woman had to come ask him a shayla, he would call his wife to sit next to him. To show the tzidkus, even the goyim seen that. This Kaimer, this Galach, his sister was married to the emperor. And they had a daughter who used to love her uncle. So one time she visited him and she saw him that he was dark, bad mood, broken. Says, my dear uncle, why are you broken? So he told her, everybody insults me, everybody speaks bad mouth me, and it's not true. I'm a saint, poo. And they praise the Jew over there. She was very offended by this. She said, she swore to him that she will be mezane, she will allow her, even though she is the basta, the daughter of the emperor, she will be mezane with him. She was a beautiful woman. She will be mezane with him to bring him down. The emperor jumped on his the Galach jumped on his feet and he said, if you do this, you will have brachas in this world, olam haba in the next world. Look at the olam haba when he serves them, these people. And she went. She went to the yeshiva the next day of Masya ben Charash, dressed up like to kill. And they said, I'm the daughter of the emperor. I have something to talk to Rabbi Masya ben Charash. And so he came down, as usual, with his Talmudim around, with his eyes down. And he said, yeah, what do you want to ask me? He had to, it was a daughter of the emperor. She says, no, let's go into this room and talk privately. She says, I can't. He says, why can't you? He says, it's a halacha. I'm not going to go into yichud with the shikta. He says, I have to call my wife. No, don't call your wife. I don't want anyone to hear. He says, then I can't. I will not be over on any isur, even if you're the daughter of the emperor, even if you kill me. I cannot do that. She saw that he would not give in. So in order to get her schmilblit moving, she decided, okay, bring your wife. So they went, the three of them, and she asked him some divrei chochma, because she was an intelligent woman, and some shtusim, and he answered her with chochma when he was chochma, when he was shtusim, he was shtusim, that's how it says. And but she was trying to have him raise his eyes. She had perfume, the best perfume on her, nothing. She came back the next day. Something happened. And they talked. And the next day, 3 months like this, she came after him. When she was, and as the time was going, she had less and less clothes on her to try to entice him. Nothing. On the last day she was there, she says, I promise you, Masya ben Charash, I will bring you to do znus with me. When he saw, he was extremely beautiful. When women were pregnant, used to come to Masya ben Charash to see his beauty in order for them to have a child that resembles him. I mean, they look at the beauty, but the tzidkus of Masya ben Charash is phenomenal. Phenomenal, like Yosef HaTzadik. And when he saw that, he took an acid that night and he put on his eyes, he blinded himself, and he put on his face and on his nose, so the acid eats the flesh. So the next day when she came prepared, when she saw that, she couldn't believe it. I said, who did that to you? He says, I did it to myself. If my beauty is gone and my eyes are gonna bring me to be choited to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I'd rather give back to him. When she heard that, she threw herself on the floor, started crying. Please, Ramasya ben Charash, Nanu, you're true tzaddik. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. He says, I forgive you. Full-heartedly, I forgive you. And she was sobbing. She went back to her home. She went looking for her uncle. You're a piece of schmutz. You're the worst of the worst. You don't know what you made me do. This Jew is a true tzaddik, and you are the sewer of the world. She killed herself after that, and because she couldn't take it. That night, Masya ben Charash had a dream that Malach Refal came and healed him. And the next morning, he was touching himself, and he felt that his face was full, and he opened his eyes, and he saw that he could see, like in his dream. That's the story of Masya ben Charash. In other words, why I think it's important to even have it here, it's because, yes, when you remain within the fragmentation of this world, the fragmented world that we have, there's no solution. But once you raise yourself through a mitzvah, it's difficult. It's avodah, it's difficult. It's the time to work it during this life. I know it's difficult, but you raise yourself above this, you are automatically receiving a shefa which is not within the norm of that world. It's from above. It's from the Bina. In other words, as we're gonna see, Yosef HaTzadik attached himself to the Chokhmah and the Bina in order to have channels bringing him. So once you are on the normal path, you know that the 6 days of the week, 1 day of Shabbos, 7 days. Days means spheroids. Chesed, Gvura, Tiferes, Netzach, Hod, Yesod, Malchus. These are the 7 days of the week, the 7 spheres. That's the normal way HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world, so it proceeds. However, sometimes comes situation where you need above the world. Abba, Ima, Chochma, Bina. And that's the power of Yosef HaTzadik. He knew when to it would not be sufficient to provide the shefa, the oil of the midas, of the days, of the spheres down below. He had to go up there. And that's what Yaakov told them. Will come days of tsar. Will come days of difficulty with the goyim and everything. You have to know who to call. You have to call upon the Yesod, upon Yosef HaTzadik. And how to call upon Yosef HaTzadik, we'll see. So in other words, in these words of bracha, Yaakov is giving a roadmap to the Bnei Yisrael as they're going to go through the tribulations of time, what to do and how to do it. Why did Yosef was zeiche to all this? We're going to say, like Maseh ben Charash, he didn't open his eyes, he didn't look. No. The Zohar comes, gives us an amazing answer. He says, when Yaakov did, Esau was approaching and he separated into two camps his people. He put Leah before her children and Rachel before Yosef. But when they approached Esau, by Leah she was first, and then came the children. No one had the presence of mind to go before their mother. But Yosef did. And not only he did, he was 7 years old. He went, the Zohar says, on his tiptoes to try to cover the beauty of his mother, so Esau, with his ayin hara, does not send it over there. He shouldn't send ayin hara to his mother. In other words, he makes himself bigger. You know, he tried to cover as much as he could with his little body, his mother, so Esau should not be looking at her. Yaakov said, this is not a bracha you're gaining, but your actions. This is a bracha I owe you because Rachel is my wife. And you went and protected her. So if Esau would have been angry and tried to kill at that point, the second machne, you would have been killed. So you put your life in danger for this, again for the eyes. He got all the brachas. Birkos avicha, the brachas not in singular, in plural. The brachas of your father surpass the brachas of my fathers. What you have done, it's unique. And because it's so unique, I'm giving you something which is also very unique. And we're going to see exactly what... Unfortunately, since time is moving, I'm going to have to go into very quickly into the Ari Hakodosh, even though he's going to explain differently than the Zohar. But we're going to take a very strong foundation from it. You see here, Vayasem es hashfachos ves yaldehen rishono. He put them first. Ves Leah biladeha, Leah first, and then her children achronim. Ves Rachel, first Rachel, and then Yosef. But then when they approach, v'achan nigash Yosef berach. Yosef put himself as a shield to her mother. This is how the Ari Hakodosh explains this poiras, because even if you explain poiras, you don't explain what is the ben. Are you saying you're the child of poiras? What are you saying here? Because these words, have in them the secret of this whole parsha, of this whole inyan of Yosef, and the inyan of Bnei Israel in Golus, how to trigger this. So the Ari Hakodosh says, poiras, fine. We're going to write it like this. Poiras. Because Yosef got the midah of the Yesod. So I'm just adding a vowel. This, if we turn these two letters, Resh and Saf, it becomes Poiser. He's the one who see clear. Even enigmas, even secrets, even dreams, he can reveal. Why? Because he gets the light from Chachma and Bina. Poiser with the Koidel. Okay, I'm going to go quicker on that. Equals, even though it's 686, I said Koidel, 687. Equals, okay, those who know, I'm going to write it like this. Those who don't know, I'm going to write it like this. Ab Yud K Vav K. Well, I have them here. Where should I write it? Yud K Vav K. Yud K Vav K written like this in the Bina. Yud K Vav K of Kochabrech. Yud Hey Vav Hey like this, which are all included in the Yud K Vav K, equals 232. Now he gave them also the one of the Bina. So it's Kye in the Bina. When you open Kye, you say Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey, Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey, written with Alphin. Aleph, Hey, Yud, Hey, written with Hey. This equals 455. 455, which is all the names of the Bina, with 232, all the names of the Chachma, which is the Oyer, a tremendous light. This is the Or Ein Sof going through the Keser, then it comes Chochmah and Binah. So it's a very strong Oyer, equals 687. That's what we call it 232, means the four names, the four orthographs of the name Yud Ke Vav Ke in the Chochmah, and the three names in the Bina equals 455, 232, and 455 equals 687. So the Ari Hakodosh explains that this is what Yosef had. And he was ben, meaning like in the Yesod, he was receiving directly from them this oil, and with this oil, he was able to provide. It's a tremendous oil that has a lot of brachas inside there. Now, I want to stick with the Zohar. I'm going to show you something. We said before, Ben Peres Yosef equals 888. Sorry. 888 equals, we said the thing, Kate's Sam Lachoishech, as it's written in the Pasuk. That's the first one. He is the only one who can put an end to the Choshech. Okay? But here we're going to take it from a different way. Equal his name, Tzafnas Paneach. You have to know Paroi was very high. When he called him Tzafnas Paneach, we saw Tzafnas Paneach equals 828. 2 times Or and Seif. From the Chokhmah, from the Bina. The 2 times the Or and Seif comes to him. So this Paro knew. But the Yesod is called Kel Chai, a living God. Every time the word Chai, alive, comes, refers in the Torah, Chaim, Eloikim Chaim is the Bina. Chai, the second level, is the Yesod. If you take the 18th name of the 72 names of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of the Shem HaMefoirash, the hidden name of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the 18th is, we can call it Kli, but it's not the way it's pronounced. And this is the 18th name. And this 18th name has a very, very specific function. It says there that this name is the one who enables the Malchus to receive the Shefa from the Yesod. In other words, the way the Yesod sends to the Malchus is through here, the Kli. Now we understand Ben Poras Yosef also keeping on with the Zohar, revealing the way the Shefa is going to go down from the Malchus to, and I'm going to prove it to you. Look at this word, Ben. Equals 52, equals the name in the Malchus, Yud, Hey, Vav, Hey, which is incomplete because it only has 9 letters. That's why you'll never find it in the Zohar. Now, how do you complete it? You complete it like this. It has to be a gan, like the number of parashas in the Torah, 53, like the Gan Eden. The Gan is the Malchus. Equals 53. Equals the same name. Yud, Hey, but this time there's an Aleph here, make it 10th letter. We say the Bina comes down to the Malchus, the Keye, Hey, equals Even. Now you know when is the Malchus called Even. Even Israel, yeah, I want to know when the Malchus is completed with 10 spheres. When the Malchus can stand. When the Malchus is down, it's called Ben. The one who can raise the Malchus from its ground, from the ground, is Yosef HaTzadik. The pasuk says, "V'nahar yotzei me'eden lehashkois es hagon." Good one, remember this pasuk at least. The Nahar, something straight, it's the Yesod. Comes out me'eden. Eden is the name of the Bina when he provides. In order to water the Gan. The Gan is the Malchus. When is the Malchus called the Gan? When it's called Even. When it has 10 letters in its name. Now we see Ben Poras Yosef. Yosef is the one who sends the light of Chokhmah and Bina, the big lights, to Ben, to the Malchus when it's in need. And then he raises it to be a gan. What's in the gan? What's in an orchard? There are fruit trees. There are fruits growing. There's everything. There's shefa for the Bnei Yisrael. So what Yosef is doing, Yosef hu hamashbir. Yosef is the one who provide, after when the Bnei Yisrael came down to Mitzrayim. I forgot the gematria of hu hamashbir on top of my head. It's going to come back. And you're gonna see it's really down that same philosophy here, that Yosef is, when the Malchus has nothing, when Bnei Israel suffer, means the Malchus, the Chitzonim Chaz v'Shalom, they overpowered the Malchus because of the Chatoim of the people down below. And then there's nothing, there's darkness. And people in darkness, they start doubting. People
569.
What?
569.
569. Now that you said that, let me look in my drush here and look for, it's hiding me something. 569. Enter. Mashiach ben Yosef. With the words. With the 3 words. 556 is Mashiach ben Yosef. So, in other words, Yaakov Avinu told them, you can't do without Yosef. Not at the beginning, not in the middle, not at the end. He is the one who's going to precede the Geula. Geula can only happen with Yosef HaTzadik. Yosef HaTzadik is the only one that can provide you during the Galus. It's the Yesod. That's why we need to be attached to Yosef through the Yesod. Now, interesting Gemara in Soita Lamed Vav Amud Beis. Bnei Yosef come to Yeshua. They tell him, look, you only give us one portion. You're going to count us as 2 Shvatim, but you give us only one portion, and we are a lot. Because Menashe and Ephraim. Because if you put us in the Degalim in 2, why should you put us only in the land of Israel? When you split it, why do you only give us one portion? So Yeshua told them, if you are so many, go hide in the forest. Because not to be subjected by Ayin Hara. They look at Yeshua. Ayin Hara. We are the Bnei Yosef. Ayin Hara cannot affect us. Ayin Hara can do nothing to us. And the Gemara says, don't call it Ben Paras Alei Ayin, above Oile Ayin. We are going above the eye. No eye can anything against the Yosef HaTzadik. The same way, and it brings down a second pasuk there about the fish, like exactly like that's why the fish don't blink and everything. In other words, Bnei Yosef have conquered the eye, the lower eye, and there above, on the eye on top, the Ena Pekicha, which is the eye of Ene Hashem El Yereav, is the eye that never blinks, not to lose a second of Hashgacha Pratis for them. This is where Yosef HaTzadik is. This is what he gave even to his children. Now, we're going to see that if we're taking, to prove the words of Yaakov and the way we're learning it, if we take, okay, we don't understand, we don't know how to translate these languages, but we're starting to break now, into the language we understand, that we're talking about end of time also, we're talking about the Ayin Hara in the meantime, we're talking, okay, let's take it together. Equals 1,860 equals 10 times Yehuda, Yosef. In other words, he tells them, even though Yosef at Tzaddik, Yosef equals 156 equals Kina. You know, his midah is to revenge. His brother said, it's Yehuda, said, you know, sell him. No. In the full midah, in Shleimus, he is with Yehuda to give the Bnei Israel the Yeshua at the end of time. Yosef HaTzadik is the person that has never lived through his nature, has held his nature into a little box and decided to live with his mind. Yosef HaTzadik, that's why the Bnei Israel are going to cry so much when everything's going to be revealed. When Yosef, never has happened a tragedy in Am Yisrael as a tragedy if Chaz v'Shalom Armilus, the red man, is going to kill Yosef, the Mashiach ben Yosef, which is Yosef HaTzadik. Never, ever. Despite the fact that he's only going to remain dead for 40 days, because then Mashiach ben David will revive him, that on to tell you the love and the proximity and the how they cherished, they will not stop mourning him, non-stop. In order to understand here, we have to dig in a little bit more in those words of the pasuk. I'm just going to move a little bit at the end of the pasuk and come back to Ben Peres Yosef Ben Peres Alein. The pasuk told us, Barnoist Saada Ale Shur. The girl stepped. Ale, very interesting, doesn't say Al. No, Ale again, sure. The Zohar comes with a question. And he says, and now we're going to go one level. And I'm going to finish on this because I'll tell you something. There is no end. There is no end to these brachas. They are till Mashiach. And what he says twice, Ben Poiras. You should have said once and tell me Ben Peres Yosef ve'alein. Why do you have to say it twice? He says because there's one for up there in the middle that he's holding in the Yesod in Atzilus, and there's one that he put into the lower middles in Beria. So there's a Ben Poiras on top, and we're going to figure out what it is Ben Poiras. And there's a Ben Poiras at the bottom. So ask the Zohar, why isn't it a Ben Poiras also in the Malchus? So in order, if that's something great, should have been in the Malchus. The lower one should have gone to the Malchus. So the Ben Poiras on top sent to the Ben Poiras at the bottom. So you made an elevator from the 100th floor to the first floor. Why do you make it from the second floor on? So people have to walk to the first floor. No, make the elevator go down all the way to the first floor. Explains the Zohar Hakodosh. And that's fundamental. He's going to, yes, it's not the Pshat Pasha. And after that, I have an explanation in order to bring it back to the Pshat Pasha, but we're not going to get there. The inyan here is that the Malka Kadisha, the holy queen, the Malchus, can only be prepared for the chuppah, for the zivug, only by girl. And the Shvatim, compared to Yosef, are girls. They all are around the Merkava, they carry the Merkava of the Malchus. So I have to explain you what it means, Barnois, and it's not so partial. We don't call them girls. Maybe I'll give you the gematria there after that of Barnois. And only the Shvatim can prepare the Malchus. Yosef, which is the Bechina of male, cannot. Basically, the king is not going to go prepare the queen, right? That's an abbreviation. I'm being rude here, but this is, in other words, the intention. Okay, now this is an image. What it truly means, the Shvatim, they have through the Torah, through the Tefillah, through the mitzvahs, they're going up to the Malchus. Yosef is above. He cannot go up to the Malchus. He can go down, but not up. That's, in other words, what it says here. So you have a Ben Poiras and a Ben Poiras that's going to encompass the Malchus. And when the Malchus is receiving these mitzvahs and this Torah and everything, she embellishes herself with this and looks at, with love, looks at Yosef HaTzadik, look at the Yesod, and I'm explaining like a little bit of a Shir Hashirim here, and I'm afraid that my sentences are going to be taken out of context. I'm very much afraid of, explaining rudely. I like to explain close to the words, you know me. And because if I don't image you with something you understand in this world, you'll never understand the concept. And that's where people lose. In Kabbalah, they lose the grounds. It's about there, because nobody was able to bring them something that crystallizes the idea in something they understand, so they own it. It's never about after that. Now that I said that, I'm going to explain you. So now that she received her makeup, perfume, whatever you want to call it, jewelry, the queen looks beautiful. So she looks at the king with love to entice him. And the king is looking at her, also returning the same level of love. I don't have time to show you the pasuk in Hasebi einayich minegdi ki hem yerivuni. This is a pasuk in Tehillim which reveals soidus, but it's very precise how the yichud of Kutsha Berichu and Shchinte happen, what triggers it, what's the shefa that comes out. So now, when this happens, why is there a need of yichud? Because this is when the Yesod is going to pass all the shefa that he received to the Malchus. Then the Malchus is going to go and give it to all the Bnei Israel. So in other words, when we call them nukva, we call them girls, mean they don't have access directly to Kutsha Berichu. They go through the Malchus, and the Malchus will bring it up. But the tzaddik is the one that has access to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The whole fight in this world is in Shechem. In other words, you can get rid of the whole world and bring the fight to this exact Shechem. People want to be choite, allow themselves to be choite with the Yesod, and people understand that it is difficult to stand by all our surroundings and temptations, but this is the tachlis of the world. This is where Makom is. This is where the Yudke Vavke, the light, when the letters tap into themselves, is. You want the light. You don't have to go very far. You stay in Shechem, that mokem that everyone transgress, where they do all the shmutz, and you stand by, and you are Yosef Atzadik. That's the reason he's buried there, to show us. Don't look at the external thing. It's what you do that counts. It's how you behave that counts. The air comes from you. And HaKadosh Baruch Hu protects you, even though you're in proximity of all the shmutz and everything. HaKadosh Baruch Hu protects you. That's the only path to access the Yesod. Once you're in the Yesod, you get the bracha of Yaakov. That's for another time. But this is the concept. This is the reason Yosef HaTzadik receives a simile bracha, which is a roadmap for Bnei Israel to know in time of difficulty what to improve. The Shmirah of the Yesod. You are in Shechem. You have temptations, but you withstand it, and you know it's makom, you next to HaKadosh Baruch Hu right there. You know where the Shekhinah stands? On the Yesod. Do you know where the Satan stands? On the Yesod. Everybody's fighting about the Yesod. That's the only thing. That is what rules the world. This is why Western civilizations are going down the drain. They have allowed too much permissivity. And this is where they're standing. And that's why Am Yisrael, by standing strong and keeping the Yesod and having a connection to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they won't be able to touch us. The UN will fall, but Israel will prevail. We don't care about what they say. We don't care about South Africa. We don't care about Spain, that all of a sudden they have a great morality and going to teach us when they put on the stack, families and villages all together, burn them alive. No, that's nothing. They're very forgetful, these Reshaim. But now they're going to teach us how to behave with people that came and killed and raped and did everything. They spilled Jewish blood, their blood will be spilled. It's one of the 7 mitzvahs b'nei Noach. Baruch Adonai le'olam, amen v'amen.